Now that The Sims 4 has got its crap together on the skin tones issue, oh, never mind. It's making mixed babies white now. Well, when that's fixed, I think then will be a good time for players to start thinking about things that could be done to improve the game, but that wouldn't take a lot of work. I'm kind of sick of this and knowing it can be fixed, so let me vent. If you have watched my reviews, there's no doubt you know that one of my favorite problems with this game is how sad it is to see the same Sims popping up everywhere and the others are just random pics. While it might be fine to see Judith Ward appear in Mount Komorebi once in a while, it's not like that. Not at all. No, she and like 7 other favorites do so on the first day in the new location and sell me sushi. And yes, I got my revenge on her and made her do the robot while simultaneously appearing possessed. There are so many potential fixes for this, you know. Like for instance, making an actual population for each location based on some realistic expectations. Like, I know when I go to Japan, I'll see Japanese people. No place is 100% anything, but Japan probably has a lot of people of Japanese descent. Well, that was a correct guess. But what we have in this area now is a sloppy system that randomly picks from everyone and then randomly generates occasionally not ugly but often poorly dressed townies to fill in the gap. It seemingly does both of these so that the nicely made Sims will be most of what you see, except for what those Sims wear for winter and summer clothes. That's another matter. I know Bjorn, and he wouldn't be caught dead wearing this. Well, I thought I knew Bjorn. You do you, buddy. The way it is, Maxis has to try to pick which blouses go with which pants and should never, ever be combined. And repeatedly turn down the eyeball ring. Judith, you've got something on your nose there. It's... Oh, God. She eats boogers. I'm sorry, we'll continue. I admit, sometimes it cracks me up to see how badly dressed townies are, but this did not seem to be such a blatant issue in the past. Asking them to make the population by hand takes a good bit of work. What would be reasonable to me would be to use the awesome online functionality they've already built to let players build the population, but also manage it. I've thought this through pretty well, so I wonder what you all think. I do care what you think, and it's not just a ploy to get you to engage with my video, but do like my video. Players who make Sims with only Maxis made items could see their Sims appear automatically in other people's games. It has to be Maxis made so we don't get some kinky CC appearing in some kid's game. But because a Sim is really just instructions on what dimensions and items to use from existing packs, it doesn't seem like this would produce a lot of data and thus a need for a lot of bandwidth. Players could also choose to flag Sims that are bad for a world, or at least that keep them out of their own games. This should of course be optional, so that you could still have Sims who look like they were dressed by a 4-year-old if you want, but take advantage of that online functionality in a modern way. You could even select Sims who you want to make sure are in new games by adding them to favorites, or go about shopping on the gallery to tell the game yes and no on what Sims you'd like to appear as residents. Or you could avoid the gallery entirely because this is something that you should only need when a new game is made and then here and there after so many weeks of play. Make an option for it and whether you want to pick your own Sims or not. Many players do not want to handpick 80 Sims to populate their world, and I realize that. This prevents Maxis from needing to make more than the handful of Sims that they already do, while giving players the opportunity to share Sims in another unique way. Some players do heavily micromanage their town's population or make their own Sims for that purpose, but the game will still keep randomly generating them. While you're at it, make it optional how frequently Sims will roam from world to world, since I know some players are not bothered by this concept and like seeing them. This is something that should be up to each individual player. While you're at it, again, consider whether Bjorn should be wearing entirely random hot and cold weather clothing, and perhaps revisit old packs to make current residents dressed appropriately for seasons owners. Anyway, this idea being implemented kills two birds with one stone. On a new pack's release, many players would enjoy getting some freshly made Sims to live in the new world they just bought, and you don't have such a desperate need to make Eliza Pancakes a snowboarder all of a sudden. Well, what do you all think? If you like my idea, share it.